Hi there, my name is Kay Moon, and I'm a Western astrologer, and this is a full moon in Libra video for the full moon on April 19th, 2019. So, this is a very interesting full moon. As you probably already know, full moons complete cycles, whereas new moons begin cycles. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful practice to set intentions for the kinds of things you'd like to bring to completion or conclusion aligned with the full moon and the sign that it happens to be in, and the types of things you'd like to bring to manifestation during a new moon, given the sign that it's in. With a full moon in Libra, what we're looking at in particular with this full moon at 29 degrees Libra, the very last degrees of Libra, is some level of completion as it pertains to partnership. However, that doesn't necessarily mean a hard ending to certain relationships. What's actually indicated here, given the stack of planets and asteroids here in Aries, directly opposite this configuration out here in Libra that includes this full moon, is what's happening is some level of balance going on, some level of seesaw, some level of give and take that's indicated with this full moon chart. Interestingly, this full moon sits at 29 degrees Libra, but if you take a look out here opposite with the sun here at 29 degrees Aries, we have in Taurus at 2 degrees Taurus, Uranus. So when I see Taurus and the sun sitting together in this way, this lets me know that all of our instincts are actually a little bit keyed up. Our instincts are deeply getting an attunement as it pertains to awareness, as it pertains to our higher selves, as it pertains to the things that we feel called and led to do on behalf of ourselves. That's Aries, the initiator sign of the self. Aries is all about taking that first step, taking that leap. And with Uranus sitting so close to the sun and opposite the moon in that way, Uranus is bringing some flashes of insight as it pertains to what's coming toward completion in our relationships, both with others and with ourself. The other interesting things going on with this configuration is, when we've got Aries and Aries opposition to a whole bunch of stuff going on in Libra, this lineup here in Libra, we've got, here's the symbol for the earth, here's the symbol for the moon, here's the symbol for Haumea. She is the Hawaiian creation goddess. Here's the verdicts, which I won't get into in this video, but there's Pallas Athene, and there's Make Make here in Libra. When I see this lineup, these two, Make Make and Haumea, have been really lending themselves to a very spiritual approach to relationships, and having us feel really drawn collectively to relationships where we get to give birth to our whole selves, who we really are, the truth of what it is we came to do, and relationships that have a deeply spiritual component to them. With this configuration sitting so close or in the same sign as this full moon, what's being shown to us is that there may be some patterns as it pertains to relationship where we have not been allowed to be ourselves, that we are now bringing toward completion. We're naming and releasing those. And what lets me know that is over here in Aries, at 2 and 3 degrees, we've got Mercury, we've got Chiron, Mercury being the mind and communication, Chiron being healing. With these two sitting together alongside Vesta, that which we consider holy and sacred, and we would give our lives to protect, there's a level of recognition of that which no longer serves and the way we've been dealing with ourselves as it pertains to our relationships. Maybe some unhealthy patterns that we ourselves have been carrying when it comes to the way we've been doing relationships, that this full moon is actually saying, ahem, excuse me, it's time to complete and release that. It's time to let those old behaviors go so that you're able to give way to something new and give birth to a new sense of self once we move toward the new moon in Taurus, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. And that new moon will really be the first feminine new moon of the year, where we're really giving birth to that which nurtures and sustains us. That's what Taurus is all about, a bit of sustaining and that which kind of nurtures and fosters more life and fertility. So we're working toward that. And in the build up to that, we're getting a good mirror in the light of this full moon of the ways that we personally have been showing up to relationship that are preventing us from being our best selves, our full selves. So that's a really interesting component to this new moon. That Aries configuration that I've spoken about is, like I said, really about healing the self and getting some insights as it pertains to the way we've been showing up to relationship. So Aries configuration, Libra configuration, the Pisces configuration happening at the same time as this new moon. So last video, the Aries new moon, there was a really heavy energy to it because there was a lot of energy hanging out in Pisces. Mercury was in Pisces. We still have Venus, Neptune, Nessus, and Lilith, these two asteroids here, hanging out so close to Pisces, or inside Pisces. Lilith is so close at 28 degrees Aquarius. When I see these three in Pisces, some of the heaviness that we had around the new moon has shifted as all of this wonderful planetary action has moved into Aries, the cardinal sign. But in this mutable sign of Pisces, which is, the collective, the all, the oneness, Pisces really being, as a water sign, about spiritual emotionality. Nessus being all about obsession, Neptune being the dissolver of things, and the deep, deep kind of spiritual energy around that which cannot be named, the face of God which cannot be seen. And then Venus being the attraction point in a chart. A lot of astrologers will talk about Venus being love, being money, but at its most neutral, Venus acts as a magnet in the chart. And wherever Venus goes, it's like all of the attention and all the energy follows. And with Venus sitting with Neptune in this way, it's a wide orb, 28 and 17 degrees, but both of them kicking off this Piscean, deeply spiritual energy, it just adds to the spiritual nature of this full moon, where collectively the invitation on the table is for us to look within at just what are the themes coming up in terms of our emotions? What patterns can we see that we've, let ourselves fall into that aren't necessarily serving our higher good or where we're going? There's a lot of beneficial and benevolent energy here between Neptune and Venus, and Nessus giving us that obsessive quality about it, to really have a good look. This is almost like the universe forcing us to face the things within us where we have almost wounded ourselves, so to speak, and allowed ourselves to be wounded by those in which we're in partnership with. And to start looking at, well, what's it really going to take for me to heal from this? What's it really going to take for me to let these patterns go? Let the old way of being go. Or in some cases, for some in the collective, this may be about letting certain relationships that you've outgrown go. Although it doesn't have to be that if, in fact, that's just not where you're at in your world. So there's another configuration going on at the time of this new moon, and or this full moon, and I spoke about this in the new moon in Aries video, and this is going to be a recurring theme throughout this year. It's this configuration out here in Capricorn, where we've got the heaviest hitters here, Pluto, South Node, and Saturn, really dishing out some interesting karmic lessons for all of us. And they've been sitting here since early this year. Last year, Pluto's been here for quite some time. But with Pluto, life, death, and rebirth cycles, South Node, karma from the past life or past in this life, Saturn, restoration of integrity, the separator, the harsh teacher, master of time. And Saturn and Pluto both about to go retrograde quite soon here in the next 30 days. What's happening here is and that retrograde is going to bring forth the more spiritual aspects of these planets. What's happening here is a restructuring of things that we have worked towards, because Capricorn really represents that which we're willing to strive toward, that which we're willing to roll up sleeves and work on, those things that really allow us to manifest our dreams via our work ethic. It also represents tradition. So there's a bit of harsh lessons around places where we have laid down our energy and our time and our commitment to things that may not necessarily have served, things we may have outgrown. And there's a bit of restructuring going on here in Capricorn, asking us, hey, are you ready to maybe let some more of this go, give more of this up? The divine invitation is on the table. If we wait for divine intervention instead of saying yes to divine invitation around the things that we're being invited to let go, I've seen that kind of waiting just wreak havoc in our lives. So know that wherever Capricorn lives in your chart, this is where you're going through some level of dark night of the soul, some level of challenge, some level of reconfiguration or scrambling of the way things were, so that you can give birth to the way things are meant to be. Because right opposite that is the North Node here in Cancer. And where Capricorn is the work we're willing to put in to get what we want in terms of our dreams, North Node being the direction of where things are going, sitting in Cancer, this is all about how we foster and nurture those dreams and how we take care of them and bring them into the world with those we consider soul family, Cancer being the sign of family. So this interesting configuration, like I said, this is going to be going on all year. There will be different things that talk to it. I'll probably be speaking to it with every video, referencing it. And if you want to know where this is happening in your chart and what this means in terms of your natal planets and how this may be creating a reworking of who you are and where you're going, let's set up an individual reading. You can email me at chrysalismoon@gmail.com, and that's KRYSALIS, chrysalis moon, MOON, @gmail.com. And we can go ahead and take a look at how this configuration is playing out for you, because this is going to be in play all year. The interesting thing about this configuration that I happen to, I'm finding this really fascinating, is that Pholus out here, one of the centaurs, represents self-sacrifice. And bookending the other end of this heavy-hitting transit is Chariklo, and she represents divine intercession, pleading with the gods on your behalf in order to help you create what it is you want and need. With sacrifice and really an act of faith by reaching out to the gods and saying, hey, can you please help me here? With sacrifice and faith bookending this configuration, this energy is really about recognizing where the universe has decided to step in and change your life for you and allowing that change to occur. Instead of holding on, it's about loosening the grip, opening that palm, and allowing the universe to wipe what you've been holding on to out of your hands and then place in that hand a blessing and a gift as soon as Jupiter rolls into this configuration, which will happen later this year. So that's something to look forward to, but Jupiter can't put a gift in your hand if your hand is grasping the past. And so knowing how this is going to play out depending upon the house of your chart and what natal planets it's speaking to will really help you understand whether or not to continue fighting for something is worthwhile, and working towards something is worthwhile, or whether or not the universe has placed an invitation in front of you to start to let go. And with this full moon in Libra, there's definitely an energy of questioning, is it time? Is it time? Is it now? Is it this situation that I'm meant to let go of? So let's see. Other things going on here. I think these are really the big things that yeah, I got that. Ceres opposite Mars. Yeah, okay, great. So I'm going to jump in to do a twin flame video now for the Libra full moon to really walk those of you who consider yourselves to be in twin flame relationships, to help you understand what this means for that dynamic for you as divine feminine and divine masculine. If you're not in a twin flame dynamic, you may also find this useful as masculine and feminine energies play out in all relationships. So you're welcome to take a look at that. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, and commenting. I absolutely love hearing from you. And if you'd like to get a reading with me, just go ahead and email me at chrysalismoon@gmail.com, KRYSALISMOON@gmail.com.